like that pipe.
Thank you. It's a Kaviki. I was actually like, I told myself, I think last year, that I wasn't going to buy another pipe. And then I saw a Kaviki that I wanted, and I was like, well, maybe I will buy another one.
All your Cervikis and Sir Jakobos are good.
Mm-hmm.
Is your Hawkbill Sir Jakobo?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw a pipe. Somebody opened up like a Costello on Instagram, and I told Ann, I said, I don't even have to look at that pipe. I know it's $2,000. And then he like pulled it out, and it was this big old chimney ass something.
Mm.
I was like,
None of mine were that much.
No. But this was a Costello though. Like,
yeah, I mean, I got 2 Costellos.
Oh yeah.
Literally just smoked one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, but I mean, like this was like a jumbo size though. Oh yeah, it's your Jay Leno pipe. Yeah.
The old chinny chin.
Yeah, but no, this was like a jumbo. Like, it was like a chimney bull, like, you know that bulldog shape that kind of comes back.
Yeah.
But it was a chimney of straight. So I don't think it was a bulldog, but it was like a. It's crazy. All right.
Man, that sounds pretty cool though. But I just don't, I want this one Kaviki pipe. It's a tomato.
Yeah.
And, because I don't have a tomato, and I think they're pretty pipes.
Yeah.
And then I want a Hawkbill from Costello, because Costello invented the Hawkbill.
Oh. Yeah. I'd like to have a Hawkbill, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty pleased with this $55, unfinished second.
I like, look, a pipe's a pipe's a pipe.
Yeah.
I'll say it 1,000 times. You can like what you like and smoke. If you're about to smoke, it doesn't matter what you smoke out of.
No.
You're going for it. But if you like to collect pipes, then more power to you.
Yeah.
But there might be some subtle differences in smoking quality. And when I mean that it's like if it's drilled a certain way, and it's just taking a little bit more care to get but the mechanics of every pipe that's good are the same.
Yeah.
Period. There's no difference. You're like, yeah, but it's Mediterranean briar. No one cares. If you're really concerned about like material, then you should basically get clay or meerschaum.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you don't care at all and you just want to smoke, or just get a corn cob. Mm-hmm. Just rotate out a corn cob.
And I think corn cobs are great.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I think if you're going purely for just like, well, it's the material and that makes a difference and blah, 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 then you should be smoking clay or meerschaum.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be very neutral.
Yeah, they're not really going to affect as much.
And I still test most of my tobacco out in a meerschaum pipe.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you don't know. I mean, like, you don't know.
Or clay.
Yeah. All right, well, hey, welcome back to PipeCast. On this episode, we'll be covering GLP's Bankside, a newest addition to his lineup. Let's take a look at that blend. What we have here is GLP's Bankside, a new addition to the GLP's lineup. It is a fine flake tobacco, is what it says on the tin. It is, as you can tell, it's a little bit of a broken flake. It is made up of red and bright Virginia, as well as Perique, dark fired Kentucky, and Latakia. So there's a lot going on in this blend. And it's really, I mean, you can anything that's light is, Virginia, essentially. So these little light strokes that you see in the flake, that's a combination of the red and bright Virginia. And then, it looks like the rest of it is predominantly the Perique and some of the dark fired. And then there are little tiny moments of the darker Latakia leaf. We'll zoom in so you can get a better image here. So, like I said, it's predominantly, to me, it looks like it's a 50-50 between the Virginias and then the Perique and a little bit of dark fire. There's a little bit of that lighter brown and then a little bit of medium brown. And then there's see that right there? That looks very Latakia as far as color goes. But yeah, well, let's see how it smokes. All right, that was Bankside. One thing I'll note, is it's weird because Smoking Pipes classifies it in the Virginia family, but I think they classify all their vapors in the Virginia family. Like they don't sub it out to vapor, so I can understand that. But on the tin, he calls it like an archetypical Virginia Perique blend, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink in it. Like, it's just Orientals short of being English as far as components go, right? And so, like, that already threw me off. Like, I won't get too much into it because I've been smoking it for 2 weeks now. So I won't say anything. He's the first impression. But I'm just saying, going into it, that kind of threw me off because I'm like, I don't know what this is. They saying it's a Virginia Perique. It's got a little bit of Lycia, a little bit of Dark Fired. I'm like, I don't know what's happening here, but take it away.
It's not bad. It's but it ain't good either. And that's just a first impression. I feel like, everything you just said threw me for a loop. It smells sort of English breakfasty out of the tin. Not robust. So you're not getting something like a real hardcore, Latakia bomb blend smell, right?
No.
I mean, this smells pretty light on the Latakia, but it's smoky. You can smell it.
Yeah.
But then you're saying it's a Virginia Perique blend?
That's what the tin says. The tin says that it is. Oh, here. We got the. If y'all wanted to see it, I don't know if we ever do this that much, but Bankside, whatever. Yeah, it says it is Virginia Perique Flake. And first off, let me say that real quick. Side note. It says Bankside, 2 ounces of fine flake pipe tobacco. If you're a broken flake, which is what this is, don't tell me you're a flake tobacco. Mm-hmm. You're lying to me. Okay? I don't like it. But regardless, yeah, it says it's a Virginia Perique flake. That's what the man himself, Pease, is saying right here.
Let me see this.
Yeah.
From a bold, traditional canvas of red, bright Virginias and genuine St. James Perique. So he's saying he is absolutely putting a base of red and bright Virginias and St. James Perique. Mm-hmm. And then they throw in fire-cured Kentucky and some Latakia.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like, I mean, I don't know why you would. It makes it sound like a Scottish blend. But the thing is the more I do research, the more I'm like, I don't know what any of these blends mean.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore. Like, I feel like everyone's it's like so up to interpretation, everything's off the rails.
Yeah.
Because I always thought, like, a Scottish blend maybe had, like, a touch of Cavendish and was really light on the Latakia, but gave you enough Latakia to have a smoky intrigue to it, which is what this is, but no Cavendish.
And no Oriental.
Then Balkans are an Oriental forward blend.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that means but that would take out so many other blends that I consider Balkan,
but
because I always think of like the creosote, like really dark, smoky, super smoky dark, to be a Balkan blend, and that's the way I've always been sold on
Artisan and plum pudding. Come to my mind.
But plum pudding definitely can't be.
No, not based on that.
Not based on that description.
Yeah.
But Skiff would be a Balkan.
Yeah,
because Skiff has more Orientals going on for it. And then, anyway, I mean, it's hard to define. We're going to give you the best in the ballpark, description as we can, and then we're going to tell you if we like it or not. As far as Bankside's concerned, this might be so subtle as to not be... I might not be giving you the best impression on a first impression, because it's so subtle.
Yeah.
I've been around the block enough to know that when you feel like some of the flavoring and everything's muted, that means you probably should pony up and marry to the blend to kind of get whatever complexity may or may not be in it out of it. I've also been around enough to know that if you're not knocking it out of the park for me, that I'm probably not going to like you in the long run, regardless of how much effort I put into it. So I could smoke this for a month, maybe 2, buy a couple of tins and be around it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I may be able to pull out of it some of the complexity that is spoken about. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be like, yes, I do love this blend. It's very rare that my first impression or a week review changes with a 2-month, like living with the blend for 2 months.
Brought the whole party out here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. You know, like I said, I've been smoking it for 2 weeks, and it took a while to kind of get my opinions on this blend. The first couple times, I probably could have let it dry a little bit more, and I was just kind of not that impressed with it. I was just like, this doesn't really, because I was thinking of the Latakia, I was like, even though I knew they were trying to sell it as a vapor, I knew there was Latakia there, and I'm like, I'm getting a little smokiness, but I'm not getting what I want out of Latakia. You know, because, forgive me, when I come in for a Latakia blend, I want, basically, if you're going to give me Latakia, unless you're doing something interesting with the other components, Latakia for me is the dominant player, right? So like Artisan's blend, pipe, nightcap, whatever it may be. So when I started smoking this blend, I was like, well, there's not any Latakia happening, and all I'm getting is like maybe a little. I'm getting some Perique in there, definitely in the retro hell, but it's kind of just whatever. And I haven't had any like prominent dark fired Kentucky blends. Only time I've had dark fired Kentucky is when it is a component. So I was like, I can't really pick it out here. But so I'm really just getting Virginias and Perique and like a little bit of smokiness, and I'm just like, this isn't that fun. So, you know, as the week progressed, I started letting it dry a little bit more. I tried it in a multitude of different pipe sizes just to see if that would make a difference. Not really. But letting it dry a little bit did help. Did help a little bit. And I went back and smoked. One day I smoked like Artisan's blend just to remind myself, because I hadn't had it in a while, you know, the things I like about it. And then I went back and I smoked Orlick, because it's kind of a mild vapor, right? So I'm like, so if this is trying to be some kind of vapor, like, let me retune my palate back to a vapor, you know, somewhat of a vapor. And after going back to Golden and then coming back to Bankside, I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad. You know, this is kind of, you know, it is. I don't think it's as good as Orlick Golden Slice, but it's kind of walking in that realm with a little bit of Latakia-ish. So it's like a smoky Orlick, kinda. And so, like, I'm like, it's not that bad, but it's not something that I would continue to come back to. And that's 2 weeks worth of smoking it on a daily basis.
And I feel like that's going to be my conclusion too. It's not bad. There's a subtle sweetness. It's almost like it's all half measures across the board. Like there's not enough Virginia Perique. It's a Virginia Perique blend, but it's like there's not enough to make me convinced that that's where it's at. Then there's a sweetness, like it kind of wants to go this like kind of like ooh sweet route where it's like the Virginias are playing a role, and there's some sort of topping that's kind of giving it this like molasses kind of. It's kind of a licoricey kind of taste to it, where it's sort of, you know, married up to that dark fired, and then there's like a little bit of smokiness, and it's like, oh, okay, well that Latakia is coming in, but then all of it falls flat because neither one is a dominant component, it feels like, or for whatever reason it's being masked or ghosted out, and then it just confuses me. Because it's almost like the most of the time you can pick things out. What I like to think about is like when you have a pretty good blend, you'll have like a let's say a sort of smokiness, right? And then with nightcap, and you have that smokiness, and then there's a like sort of a creamy undertone that comes in with like a fruity kind of creamy undertone that comes in with a little bit of Virginia, and you know how it just sort of like it just sort of settles in, but then that smokiness comes back, but it's light, you know. It's like, all right, for 1 second you got this other thing, like this caramel, this chocolatiness, and then like smoky comes back, and then there's like this kind of nice sort of evenness that comes from it. That's not happening here. Every second there's something different going on, which doesn't lend itself to being like, wow, this is so complex. It's like, all right, I'm literally just playing like ping pong.
Yeah.
Just trying to serve back whatever the flavor is in my mind, and then I'm getting served a new one like right after it. So I feel like I'm just like doing a high speed game of trying to figure. And it's, you would think that would be great, except what it does is it doesn't feel like anything's in the blend. I'm just smoking smoke, even though that there's a ton of flavor. Like, and not a ton of flavors is what I should say. A ton of flavor is like there's a consistency that's nice.
Yeah.
A ton of flavors means that nothing is dominating.
Yeah.
To the point that now I'm just like, okay, well, there's that smokiness. Oh, well, here's that dark fire kind of sweetiness, like with that molasses licorice kind of like taste. And then here's that Virginia peppery fruitiness, but then they're all going boom, 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 and it's so fast.
Yeah.
Maybe if I trained up on this for 2 months, I'd be like, wow.
Yeah.
This is amazing. This is exactly what I want. But because it feels like such a smorgasbord where nothing is coming out as a lead and is complemented by something underneath, I don't really think I like it.
It's kind of, it's kind of like a good blend is like a couple like dancing on a dance floor, slow dancing, or even like was it like John Travolta and Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction? Like that's a good blend does that. This is a bunch of goth kids dancing by themselves, like just in the corner. Just you're like, okay, well that guy's doing this and this girl's doing that and this is doing that. That's what this is. Just a lot of jumping around. Nothing. It's not married. It's not coherent. It's not lock. It's not lock and step.
Hilariously though, in my opinion, this is all good tobacco. I think individually this is good. I'm not complaining about any of the quality. I feel like the quality's there. I like it.
Yeah.
I think that as a matter of fact, I sort of feel like that it's ruined by being blended. It's like you could separate these out, age them, and they would probably be a staple in everyone's rotations.
Well, I'm just curious if you let this age, and they tried to marry, do you think that would help it in any way?
If it came some sort of mono blend where it all or a mono flavor, yeah, it probably would. I mean, I don't know if that mono flavor is going to be good. Then you have to, but see, then the ultimate thing is like, is that good? Yeah. Ultimately, is that mono flavor good, where it's consistent? And that can be the sort of damning side of it, where it's like, this isn't even good as a mono flavor. I'm not saying it's not going to be. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Yeah, so I just don't think I would. I mean, if you want to get out there and try it. But it would be way down the list of things I would recommend to anybody.
Yeah, I think, and this isn't a knock on Pease. I just think he's got a lot better things to offer. And I know this is a part of his Zeitgeist collection.
Is that what it's called? I was wondering what the new is Windjammer part of that? Or is it? No, I mean, all his new stuff has this new kind of look, like label, like starting with Windjammer, and then there was something else between it and Bankside.
You talking about like Sparkplug and stuff?
No, because Sparkplug was around a few years before Windjammer came out.
Well, I mean, I don't know where. But anyway, this is a part of the Zeitgeist collection.
Okay.
And I mean, if you're saying that if by Zeitgeist you mean that, the Zeitgeist of society is a muddled mess of non-flavor, then yeah.
Who's been reading philosophy?
But no, I mean, like, it just seems like, to me personally, I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend this to someone. And that's not a knock at Pease. You can't knock it out of the park every time.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've recommended so many Pease blends.
This is just not going to be one of them. No. I mean, like, I don't think we liked his Vapor blends. What were those, like those
Oriental Forward ones?
Oriental Forward ones.
Yeah, Embarcadero.
Cairo.
And then we did Regent's Flake. But we like Regent's Flake pretty well.
Regent's Flake has an apple flavor to it. A cider flavor. I love that in the fall. It's the best. Regent's Flake and then the other one, which is a bar. It's the same blend.
Temple Bar.
Temple Bar, yeah.
He says it isn't the same blend, but it is. But I think we both love the Windjammer pretty well.
Yeah. Windjammer's good. And it's a new blend, so check out Windjammer.
Yeah. And
we have a review on it. I think we liked it a lot.
Oh, yeah. I went back and smoked it just the other day, and I was like, man, this is really good. Like
yeah,
I forgot.
All his Fog City stuff is really good.
All his Englishes are good.
Yeah.
Or, like Quiet
Westminster, I consider it like a staple, a middle of the road.
Yeah.
Meridian is one of my favorite blends that he created. I love his Drucker and Sons line is really good.
Maltese Falcon kind of misses the mark a little bit.
Only because we think that the topping shouldn't be ginger. It should be clove.
Yeah.
And it's that is so subjective that I don't even like saying it, because really what I'm saying is that if you're going to pull from noir film, which is what Maltese Falcon is in reference to, a noir film.
Yeah.
You should have went clove oil, because that has like this noir Mysteries of the Orient, like Curiosity Cabinet-esque like feel to it, which I feel like a lot of those films have.
Yeah.
Femme Fatale, you know?
Yeah.
A great sort of neo-noir suspense movie is called The Ninth Gate, and the Femme Fatale smokes like black clove cigarettes.
Oh, really?
And it's like, so to me, that just makes sense. You just pull clove in, why not?
Yeah.
I really wish I could talk to Pease and ask him if he would do a clove oil blend.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know.
He might just have some kind of thing against it. He's like, clove oil, get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it makes too much sense. And I don't even like, I mean, I like noir films, and I like clove oil, or like, clove cigarette type stuff. But, I wouldn't say I know that much, but it still makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, you can find better blends, and you can find better Pease blends than this.
It's totally smokable though. So if you got it, I don't think you've lost out. You can smoke it. You might even come out with something a little bit better than our opinion.
Yeah, because this is, at the end of the day, this is just our opinion. It always is, always will be.
But I think that, ultimately, I'm going to steer away from this. I just think it misses the mark by not really being anything.
It doesn't lean into one thing to be the bus driver.
Yeah, it can't. It definitely can't say that it's something for the whatever lover, and it's not a bridge tobacco to get you off of like aromatics or latakia or something like that. So it doesn't bridge. It doesn't lend itself to like a latakia lover or a vapor lover or whatever. It's just in the middle.
Yeah.
But not in the middle in a good way. Not like, wow, we should. It's just nothing. I just don't.
It is kind of eerily. I mean, it's a lot better than what the blend I'm about to mention, but it is eerily similar to the feelings of Balkan Sobrani.
Oh, I knew he was going to say. I was like, he's going to say Balkan Sobrani, where it's the aromatic vapor. Oh no, aromatic latakia.
Yeah.
Or Balkan. What do we call that? We said it was an aromatic something.
I think I just said it's like an aromatic pipe tobacco. like it. They took what English pipe tobacco is supposed to be and put that essence on top of it.
Yeah.
Like they spritzed it with, hey, this is what English and latakia smells like, And but this definitely has more flavors than that does. And it doesn't feel like an aromatic.
And
like
the tobacco was good.
Yeah. It's similar in the fact that it doesn't do anything. It's just there, whatever. Mm-hmm. But one thing I'll say about, this being our opinion, and that's kind of the byproduct of building up videos, reviewing, you can start to, say Zach has an opinion about a certain blend, and then you go out and you smoke it, and you're like, I don't agree with Zach, but I kind of agree with Patrick. And then you go to another one, and you can kind of start to kind of build a, like, well, I'm right. I'm aligned with this guy 90% of the time, and so it's like I'm probably gonna like it or I'm probably not gonna like it. So you can start to. I mean, if you're doing that, I don't know if the watcher's doing that, going out and getting these blends and then smoking it with us. I don't know, but if you are, then you are better prepared for when we say, yeah, we don't recommend it. So
right.
you know not to spend money on it and spend money on something else that you would enjoy. But if you tend to not agree with us, then it's like, oh, well, I know that, because you can get benefits both ways.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody says, I don't like it, then, and you know that you disagree with them most of the time, you'll probably like it, you know? So there's benefits here if you're kind of keeping up with it.
Yeah.
So, that's Bankside, and we hope you enjoyed the video, hearing us kind of dog cuss it a little bit. Not Pease, just the blend.
Just the blend.
Not Pease.
It's just like, you can't knock them all out of the park, and you might love it.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, if you're asking us, we're not going to say, yeah, go try Bankside.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be something I'm going to recommend.
Yeah. So we'll catch you on the next video.